What is up, mga kausap? Ceiling. That's what's up, because we're under. Never mind. It's probably not obvious to most of you that I enjoy talking about issues and facing problems. I mean, I apply the same principle when I am in a relationship, or when I was one at least. If you watch my other videos, and you should, that's why you're watching this right now. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button so that you'll get notified when I post a new video. Anyway, if you watch my other videos, you will know that my talking takes up to 20 minutes. That includes editing and anything else that I add in my videos. But then that's the problem. There's just so much to talk about in so little time. What most of you don't know is that there are some points that I take out in my videos because they seem too mediocre. They're just so and so. That's why they're not added. I'm only choosing the better points, the best points, the ones that really have a 10 out of 10 when it comes to content. So, that's why I started this particular segment known as Quick Thoughts, where I'll be discussing multiple topics in a jiffy in just a short amount of time. That way we can cover a lot of things. So, pag-usapan natin. Today's June 26th, Friday. Last night, I posted a question in my story on my social media accounts. Follow me on IG, guys. Within the first hour or so, I've got very good engagement from my friends and my viewers alike. Some questions were pilosopo, and then some questions were actually very entertaining. Some were actually very serious as well. Nevertheless, I will answer these questions because who knows? You'll never know that the silliest answer can come from the best of questions, and the best of answers can come from the silliest questions as well. So without further ado, guys, here on Quick Thoughts, let's talk about these questions. First question we have is from Kineshi. Or Kineshi? I'm sorry, how do we pronounce your name? I mean, at least your name is very unique, it's very special. There are 10 other people in my locale who have the same name as me, so sana all special, no? Anyway, she asked me, what are my thoughts about online classes? Well, here's what I think. It's a bad idea from the get-go. You might say, Ralph, you're being like Karen, you're too privileged. You shouldn't even be worrying about this because you're a graduate. Why should you care? I care because I have siblings as well who are still studying. I see it, I hear it, face to face, the problems that my siblings and other students are facing right now. Here's one thing that DepEd fails to realize, is because online classes are only for a specific audience. It's not for everybody. DepEd fails to see multiple factors. Number one is money. The money that you could have saved, that you could have spent on your family, eating for the next couple of months, or paying your rent, your electricity bills, your water bills, or mortgage, or decreasing your chances of having utang or debt, all went to your elders buying you a cell phone, a laptop, pocket Wi-Fi, load for data. It's completely unnecessary. It's like buying a suit when you intend to go to the beach. I mean, why would you do that? It's completely irrelevant at this time of pandemic. What DepEd should be helping with is finding a solution on how to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which I'll be talking about more later. Now, we have to give credit to DepEd for at least thinking about you guys, because they don't want you to be delayed, and eventually they want you to graduate so you can help your family and the economy as well. That's a very good mindset. The only problem there is, not now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a time of crisis, okay? We are having a pandemic. We're at least almost at 34,000 cases as of the making of this video. It's not a good idea to, spend money as if it were just coming out of thin air. Sure, I'll give officials the Karen card as well because, they have the resources, they have money, they're rich, all right? What about people who live in other areas who don't have the same opportunities as our students? Now you might say, yeah, my child studies in a public school, that's applicable to private school. Yeah, I know, but eventually if the pandemic doesn't go away soon and your child is an incoming freshman for high school, they'll need to pay something now as compared to them being in elementary. All right, so it's really irrelevant to think about having online classes because it only caters to those who have money. Second reason is about practicality. Now, let's say you're a nursing student. Where in the world are you gonna get a cadaver to practice on? You can't just ask your brother, your sister, maybe even your dog. You can't do that. I'm still seeing reports from schools here in my locale asking students to pay for lab fees, miscellaneous fees, laboratory fees, which is the same as lab fees, library fees as well. I mean, where do schools have the balls to ask this from students who are having a hard time right now, especially with their parents having a hard time with their source of income? Why would you do that? Let's say for example you're studying to be a chef or a cook. I mean, where would you practice? Your kitchen, malamang, because that's where the food is, right? It's not like the school is gonna charge you for using your kitchen. I mean, it just makes no sense, all right? Next, coming to online classes. Honestly, I find it boring because I prefer to go to a classroom, meet my teacher and my classmates face to face. That way we can make noise when it's shoo. That way we can make noise when the teacher is not around, and then be quiet and maging plastic kapag nandiyan na si teacher. But kidding aside, I feel the sincerity that I'm learning something. Ladies and gentlemen, we have multiple ways of how people learn. Me, I'm a visual kinesthetic. I prefer to see what I'm actually learning and to actually do what I'm learning. Alright? I hope it makes sense. If you're gonna ask me, yeah, Ralph, you can see it as well through online classes. Yeah, it's different when you see it on screen and in real life. It's like in the movies. What you see in the movies can be different from what can be in real life. But you might say, yeah, we're having this is a practical thing. You're actually seeing your classmates and so on and so forth. Yes, I understand that. But it's the sincerity of the topics, you know. I can be wearing an underwear, eating popcorn, looking like trash, in my room, having an online class. It just feels disrespectful, all right, to education. It feels like it's a big slap in the face towards education, you looking like that, all right? Though I'm not bashing people who do. Circumstance again, after all. But it's just what I think. It's disrespectful. So online classes, it's not really practical for me, especially now that students have to focus with helping their family survive. Right? Now, Kineshi also asked me, Kuya, what are your thoughts about the no vaccine, no class? I like this idea. Let's put it in the context of the coronavirus. In my previous video, or rather in my first video on mass testing, now that restrictions are being eased, now that students are, postulated to be facing their other classmates by July or August, we have to understand the fact that there are people coming from places who have a large number of cases and people who live in areas that don't have a single case of COVID-19. Now, mixing them together would only proliferate or would only spread the virus. Is it really the best idea? If you want to bring students to your university again, make sure that they are prepared, especially with health. If I find out that, for example, okay, I don't have one yet, but for example, if I have a child and he or she goes to school and he's seatmates with a person who has COVID-19, I would immediately tell my son to stop going to school because I fear for their health. Now, I'm not discriminating against people with COVID-19. I'm not saying that we should be belittling them. No, okay? We have to understand the fact that people with COVID-19 kasi, it's risky to be around them because of its fatal cause to the human health. As a parent, you would also understand. I'm not a parent yet, but I think I kind of understand as well. If I were to allow classes to continue, vaccinate, or at least have mass testing first, for the safety, okay? Number one is safety above anything else. Safety, health, and security. Thank you, Kineshi, for that one. Let's move on. All right, here's a very interesting question sent to me from Rio Crisandra. Now, before anything else, guys, I'm just plugging Rio's YouTube and social media accounts. I hope you guys follow it. Her content is really good, nakakatawa din, and it's a good stress reliever in this time of pandemic, in this time of crisis. So do subscribe to her channel as well and watch her videos. Now, she asked me, anong ayaw at gusto mo sa isang girl o tao? Alright, I'll try to keep this as short as possible, okay? Ang dami kasi. What I don't like in people... Okay, I'll start first with dessert. What I like in somebody is someone who is smart, alright? Sure, we can talk about dumb things, like why is the sky blue, or where do food go, or where does food go when you eat it? I mean, yeah, sure, let's talk about stupid things. But I also prefer and like people who can talk about politics, education, health, sex and all other stuff. Okay, it's nice to have an open conversation, having a very liberal mindset, because it lets you talk about things and you may learn something from the other person that you may never have known before. All right, like me with my content on YouTube. I prefer also well somebody who is confident. Let's say they have a problem with their image. You know, fat, they're skinny, they're tall, they're small. As long as they're confident, they love their body, they can project themselves properly, you have my attention. Also, as well, if they can hold their own against people who are higher than them in the sense of stature. All right, I've met with CEOs, I've met with presidents, businessmen, journalists, politicians, you name it, in my career as a freelance host. And I'd like at least somebody, a partner or a friend, who can engage people of this stature as well. That way you can make the conversation very interesting. You learn from one another and you get opinions from them. They give you experiences and whatnot. The next thing I prefer is maturity. All right. Of course, we can goof off around from time to time. We can, act like children from time to time as well. But in the long run, it's always nice to have a mature partner because they help you grow. They think about the future as well. Which brings me to my part where I have to say that I don't focus on physical standards. While it is a bonus to have somebody who is, I don't know, sexy or smart. Sexy or physically beautiful or up to your physical standards. Yeah, it's nice. It's a bonus. But what really gets me the most is attitude. How they respond to certain things. Their outlook on life. If they match with me, okay? I'm deleting Tinder, by the way. What I don't like in a girl or in people is them being disrespectful. All right, I've met with lots of people, girls or guys, friends or not, that whenever I say an opinion, they seem to act like you're becoming a burden to society. For example, I'm supportive of ABS-CBN Corporation, and I have friends who are against ABS-CBN Corporation, but they don't take it against me because they know that they respect my opinion and I respect theirs as well. I have unfriended some people in the past who have shown very disrespectful attitudes, very disrespectful sides, where if somebody gives an opinion, they bash them without proper knowledge, without actually looking at the two sides of the coin. All right, that's one. Second, I don't date children. Let's put it that way. I don't date children. If you're below 18, stay away from me. Well, not exactly, but just don't think about falling in love with me. I don't like it. You're too young. All right, I'm too old. You're too young. We're out of context. Yeah, I guess so far that's it. Other issues that I have with other people, not a problem. If you smoke, if you drink, you do drugs, sure, just don't involve me in it. If you kill somebody, you're my friend, but I'm gonna report you to the police. So I hope that answers your question, Rio. Thank you very much. Next question. Alright, so this next friend of mine has given me multiple questions. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. Sam asked me, lights on or lights off? Whoa. Hey guys, let's be frank here. We're adults, at least. I'm making sure that my videos are only for those who are 18 and above, right? So let's normalize talking about things like this because it's a part of us. Why shouldn't we talk about it? Of course, there are some things you don't talk about, but then again, this is the informal side of Ralph Says. So she asked me, lights on or lights off? Whoa. Well, when I study, I like to have my lights on. Of course, I can't see. I don't want to read what I can't see. If there's enough lighting in my room, lights off, save energy. But if we're gonna put it into that context, that which you are thinking of, I prefer to be in between, having a dim light, because there's just something romantic about having enough light, also the lack thereof. It's hard to explain. It's better expressed in person. Moving on. She also asked me, if you were a dolphin, why not? Hey, sure, why not? People find dolphins cute. Like me. Dolphins are among the smartest animals, next to a monkey and a human, according to science. If you believe humans are animals, that's fine with me. No hate. So yeah, I don't mind being a dolphin. Sure, they're cute, they're smart. But what I don't like is that they might be caught and bred in captivity. I don't support zoos, okay? ZOOS. I don't support them because of reports of zookeepers mistreating animals, some of them dying, and it just destroys the natural ecosystem of life. All right. Next, she asked me, third wheel or fifth wheel? I don't really like third wheel because, Mr. Bean hates it. I don't like fifth wheel as well. They made one in the past, but
Spare tire swings the rear end into the clear.
I'll get laughed at. It's like a spare tire. But come to think about it, I think I prefer to be a third wheel as well. Because I've been with this couple for a long time. Ever since they got together, even before they got together. And I would prefer to see one instead of two, because an excess of that is too much for me. It's gonna affect me much. Though I have been in the past fifth wheel, maybe even eighth wheel as well, so not a problem. Moving on. She also asked me, for me, do I prefer being bald or do I prefer to have long hair? Well, I was once semi-bald, so I get the idea, and I'm losing a bit of hair. See? Or I'm having, inherited from my dad. What I like about being bald is that you use less shampoo, it's less itchy, it's less hassle, like, right now. But when I have long hair, it makes you feel good, and you can, flip your hair. It's fun sometimes. But what I don't like about having long hair is that it's itchy, and you gotta use a lot of shampoo. And it gets in the way of everything. It gets into my eyes, to my ears, minsan ilong ko, minsan buwanga ko. It's annoying. But so I prefer to be again in the middle. Not too long, not too short. She also asked me, tae backwards is eat. We tae what we eat. That's a good point, really. I mean, if you follow the digestive system, you get the idea. So to those of you who are eating right now, please excuse that. That's all I'm gonna have to say. Thank you very much, Sam. Next. Ooh, Jethro, my good friend from my college days and high school days as well, asked me this. So, kamusta ka naman? Big time ka na, vlogger boy. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. Hindi pa ako big time, alright? I only have, as of now, 82 subscribers. Maybe even, 83? Let's be optimistic. I'm not big time yet. I'm hoping. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do and help me become big time as well, as my friend Jethro is saying. Now, there's another thing I want to clear here. People call me vlogger. While it is a very appropriate term, I prefer not to use the term vlogger because when you say vlogger, these are people who handle things informally, who are on the entertainment side. I don't want to name names, but we have people like Team Payaman, Jamil, Alodia. Those names. I just named them. They're the ones who make funny content, amazing content, games, challenges. I just can't see myself doing that, guys. I'm not funny. My humor is a bit different compared to the normal kind of humor, alright? So, I prefer to call my videos as videos, content, or entries instead of calling them vlog number 1, vlog number 2. And besides, I prefer to focus on educational content as well, which is why I have opinions, which you should also follow on YouTube, known as Ralph Says. Hey, thank you very much, Jethro. Next. Amber asked me this question, but before anything else, I'd like to also plug Amber's YouTube and social media accounts. Guys, please follow her. She's amazing. She'll give you great content, especially with Amber Digital. It's very inspiring to see her work, to see that content. It's amazing, it's inspiring. I hope you guys follow her, and if you have any questions that you want to hire her, for whatever purposes you may need that you see related to her content, I'll plug it here on on YouTube as well. Amber asked me, what software are you using for video editing? I use Premiere. Okay, that's the only thing I was taught how to use. Of course, there's Windows Movie Maker, but who uses it nowadays? Maybe in elementary, but I use Premiere. I use Photoshop as well sometimes for other pictures that need, editing. I use Audition, Sound Booth, After Effects, but I primarily use Premiere Pro as my editing software. Hope that answers your question, Amber. Next, a good friend of mine asked me this question. Myanmar said, "Hey, what's up, kuya? Ha ha ha. Ano ideal height mo sa future GF mo? Ha 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 ha." Well, I don't really have one because I don't really look at physical standards, but nakakailang minsan when the girl is taller than me. I don't mind if she's taller than me or if she's shorter than me. It's perfectly fine. I mean, we're all born differently. You can't blame yourself for being too small or too tall. You can in a way, but once you reach the point of no return, live with it. I don't really have one per se. But I would prefer somebody who is at least my height, a little bit taller than me, or a little bit smaller than me, preferably smaller. Shoo, mosquitoes. So yeah, I don't really have an ideal height, but anything goes. I'm not really picky. A bit. Peace. Thanks, Myanmar. We have another question here coming from a good friend of mine who is now working in Maldives, if I'm not mistaken. She's a very good barista. It should come as no surprise that she's asking me a question such as this: what you think about going back as a partner? Now, to those of you who don't know, or to those of you who may already know, I once worked as a barista. This is my legit first job among all the other jobs I've ever taken in my life. I've only had 2 jobs, so I don't know if it's really worth comparing, but really, among the 2, being a barista was one of the best jobs ever. If you were to ask me what was the first best job I can recommend, go be a barista. Whether it be in this popular coffee chain with a mermaid and a star in it, or has a coffee bean or whatever, being a barista is super fun. They teach you so many things you never knew about coffee and so much more, like customer service. Just be, wary of customers who are maate, those who think that they're privileged, the okay Karen type of people. Stay away from them, but serve them politely. Would I consider going back to being a partner? Hell yeah. It's just that there's no opening right now because it's pandemic. I understand that, but given a choice, yeah, sure, why not? If only the pay was. What's up, mga kausap? Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it very educational. To those of you who gave your questions and participated, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. If you find your answers or the answers I've given to be lacking in substance, you can always hit me up anytime in my social media accounts. If your question wasn't able to make this list, but you still want it to be seen next time, feel free to hit me up as well. And if you want to send me a question but don't want it to be posted on the videos, it's fine. Hit me up anytime, guys. We can always have a discussion about anything, anytime. At the end of the day, your opinions will always be yours and they will be worth respecting. I do hope you will have the time to consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That way I can keep on creating more content like this for you guys, which I hope you'll enjoy as well. Without further ado, guys, thank you so much again for keeping it real with Ralph Says. If you have opinions, let it be heard, guys. We have the freedom of expression. Let's use our rights. Bye for now. Ciao.